Okay, thank you very much. Thank you all for, for very good presentations. We are quite a bit behind the schedule, but actually I think that we have time to a couple of questions because there are very nice questions for you. First, Stephen, I would like to make a question for you concerning of this modular design, that how successful it is in practice when we think about, for example, wood components for the construction like particle boards, to really disassemble them into the components and separate everything and reuse them. If you compare that to the automotive and electronic sectors.
I think one of the problems is that you have such a wide variety of timber products, from medium density fiber boards to, I mean, we've seen, quite a few presentations today describing different approaches, different kinds of boards. Each one of them, if we use the techniques that we're using, which is this sort of curved lattice hinging and everything else, each one of them has an adaptation of this code, which we use in order to transform the panels. And each one of them they're all very, very different mechanically. Mm-hmm. I think it can be done with all of them. I mean, most of them, you could easily find an application which can transform them into something decorative or making furniture out of them. What we're looking for is really to do the big scale stuff. Can we build big buildings, carry big loads with recycled construction elements which are designed to carry loads? So that's what we're looking to do. But, obviously it'd be wonderful to be able to just take products which are carefully extracted from a building which is dismantled or from something which is dismantled. You're going to have to take all the nails out of it, obviously, but then to be able to feed it back into a process where you sort of magically make them into new things which have even more interesting features than they were when they were first in their first life. Now that would be wonderful too. I think that's the onus of the project, is to try to upcycle rather than to think always trying to recycle, but you're sort of, it's losing its value, the material, with every generation, with every new life that it has, and then it ends up being burnt. So you get the calories back, but that's the end of the life. So that's what we're really trying to do, I think.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Then I have a question for Uroš. Actually, it's concerning of the challenges in the collection of this recovered post-consumer wood. Do you have any challenge there, or do you have resources to use in your products?
Yes, hello. Thank you for the kind words and invitation. The main challenges are, it's not the problem to get the wood. The problem is to get it separated, to do the right sorting, because currently the collective state of not just Slovenian people, but I guess the whole Europe or even broader, is we don't know how to properly, or we don't have a will to do the proper sorting. There's no need. People still don't believe too much in everything that's changing in the world. And that's a shame. But this will have to change, of course, in the future. And it all starts with proper sorting. We have to sort the wood out. We have to sort the steel out, the masonry parts. I think that's, in our case, is currently the main challenge. When collecting old windows, we also collect old windows, all disassembled windows. The main challenge there is to also separate all parts, but different components are involved, mainly glass, wood, some gloss. Let's say the hardest part is to separate wood from the glass. Because it's connected with wet silicones. One of the ways for the future is to exchange wet glues, wet silicones, with dry glazing methods to more easily separate glass from the wood.
Yeah. That's a typical problem in the recycling, that the sorting and collection is the sort of bottleneck there. But then I have a question for Veronique. So can these Unilin panels be recycled and reused again and in similar products or different products? And if they can, how many times? Do you have any estimations on that?
Yes, thank you. Indeed, our Unilin chipboards can be recycled. That's, for instance, what I explained in the case of Intel. So we can recycle it multiple times. Of course, it has, let's say, a limit. You cannot recycle it for 1,000 times, because then you will have too much dust. Yeah. So after a while, we will reuse it in our power plants to make electricity from that. So it's difficult to say how many times you can recycle it. It will be at least 5 times, because we cannot really count it, how much do we recycle it. But we try to recycle it as much as possible to really make qualitative chipboards out of it. And maybe I would also like to come back to the previous question, which was also partially answered by Uroš, because what we do at Unilin Panels, it's not something that has come in one day. Of course, the biggest challenge is not the availability of post-consumer wood, is to have it at the right material, at the right sorting pack. And therefore, there are 2 things that are crucial. First of all, we have invested in our plants ourselves to really optimize the cleaning and the sorting. But what is even more important is also the cooperation with partners. If you want to set up something like this, you cannot do this alone. You need partners. You need to have people close to the post-consumer wood areas that really work together with you to really do the getting the material, to also do the pre-sorting, and to do already some works close to the availability of wood. And that's really very important for all the people that wanted to invest in that. It's that the working together with partners is really crucial in the success of setting up that circular economy. Yes,
thank you so much. And last very quick question for all of you. I made the same question for the previous presentators, and I want to make the same to you. So what would be your main message to the European Bauhaus initiative? Very shortly. Stephen, you start.
I think so much of what technology should be doing now is getting all the pieces together. I mean, we had this big move towards timber products, 10, 15 years ago. Andrew Wall spoke about that. The first buildings start to come out. But we need to put that into perspective compared to forestry management. We're starting to see those people come around the table. We talk about having a Bauhaus which is pluridisciplinary. I think we need to go beyond, the professionals who build and everything else, and we need to have the biologists around the table now. We need to have ecologists talking about specific species. We need them because, otherwise we'll sort of always have a bit of the public eye will always be a bit suspicious about what we're doing. We can turn spreadsheets to suit us. We can say we use the forest, but we need to have the legitimacy of the biologists around in the Bauhaus. So I think if we can get that sort of bio prefix really, really well anchored and legitimate in the new Bauhaus, then I think we'll be making some real progress. We have to stick all of these things together and to make sense of the global approach.
Yes, thank you. And Uroš, your turn.
Yes, thank you for the question. I think we need to become more humble. We need to become smart, and we need to become connected. Not just individually, but on the company side. Because now we have some partners, and you make business with them. But what we don't have yet is we don't have a partner who would take our waste and use it as their base material. Mm-hmm. It's not in our heads yet. I believe if we want this thing, Wood4Bauhaus, if we want it to succeed, we must get connected, and we must be aware that there's a need to change.
Okay, thank you. Very good. And Veronique, last but not least.
I think with the new European Bauhaus and with the Wood4Bauhaus initiative, I think the most important is that we really can change the mindset. That really circular economy, that's the way to go. That we must go on that way. We cannot do elsewhere. And I hope with the initiative that is now launched with the European Commission, that we can really, in fact, create some force together to really make sure that the mentality change is there in our sector, and that we can accelerate a little bit the movement towards circular economy. I think we have the ideal materials with wood to go in that way.
Yes, thank you so much. And we have exceeded our time quite a lot now, so I think that we have to close this session. And I like to thank all of you very much. It was very, very inspiring and interesting, and at least I learned a lot. And now I give the floor to Andrea to make the concluding remarks. And let's give a virtual big hand to our presentators.